She's doing a CIA informational video.
Weird.
Like an acting gig, or is this something else?
Perhaps, or,
I know,
but even so, you're doing an acting gig for the CIA. Who calls you for that?
Yeah.
It was literally like a registered actress and starred in a reality TV show, a romance one at that. He met her on a trip to Israel.
And to the students,
in case you missed it,
and to the students,
There's a video of her making demon eyes, and every time she makes the eyes, the music. It's so ridiculous.
Erica Kirk is suddenly back in the spotlight after Joe Rogan made a bold claim about her alleged background, and that moment instantly grabbed people's attention. But her reaction is what really changed everything. Instead of staying quiet, Erica pushed back hard, even suggesting that continued discussion could put Joe's platform at risk. That's when things started to feel more complicated. Naturally, bigger questions followed. According to ongoing public discussion, some are wondering how Erica has managed to move through multiple controversies without deeper scrutiny. Nothing here is confirmed, but the pattern is what's drawing attention.
I mean,
At that point,
the round that he was supposedly shot with was a 30-06, which is a big round. That's a round that you kill a moose with. And it doesn't even have an exit wound.
Right.
It don't make no sense. It makes 0 sense.
At that point, Joe didn't hold back. He began digging deeper into Erica's past, and now Candace Owens is stepping into the conversation as well. What started as a small moment quickly began turning into something much bigger. That shift became clear during a recent episode of Joe Rogan's podcast with comedian Mark Norman. It started off light, but the tone changed quickly. Joe, who had mostly stayed quiet until then, finally spoke up. And when he did, one thing stood out. He believes there's more to this story than what's been publicly explained, and that's what has people watching closely.
Prayer. And we ask the Lord to protect us.
to the students,
unable to understand, really.
Okay, well, until you walk a mile in someone else's shoes.
Yes, I'll guard my words.
The I don't know portion of where I sit today, which I'm very...
Joe didn't keep it surface level. He hinted there could be more happening behind the scenes than what appeared in those leaked clips. He described Erica as odd and pointed out her unusual eye movements during interviews, saying it felt unsettling, and that immediately caught people's attention. If you've seen those moments, you already know why they stand out. That's where curiosity really starts to build. There's no clear explanation. Some say it could be nerves, others think it's just a habit. Nothing has been confirmed, and that uncertainty is what keeps people watching. Joe then moved beyond the clips and brought up something bigger, her alleged connections and her appearance in CIA-related promotional content.
She's a kook for sure.
You ever seen the compilation of her making crazy eyes?
No.
There's a video of her making demon eyes, and every time she makes the eyes, the music...
At that point, the conversation stopped feeling casual. He also noted that even if she was simply cast for a role, people are still asking why she was chosen in the first place. That's where things begin to feel less random. Then he referenced a specific term, one he suggested isn't openly discussed, and that moment is what really pulled people in. The handler theory has been gaining serious traction online, especially among those taking a closer look at Erica's past. It's not confirmed, but the speed at which it's spreading is hard to ignore. Erica,
I was standing in the ticket line.
We'll meet for dinner.
No, of course. But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that He's sovereign, but He's just. And so let the Lord handle that. Burn the city down. March in the streets.
And of God's merciful love.
To stop.
Erica, however, reportedly hasn't taken that label lightly. According to public discussion, there are claims her team reached out to Joe Rogan after the episode, pushing back on how she was described. That's when the situation started heating up. Some reports also suggest there were warnings about potential consequences if those claims continued to be repeated. Nothing here is verified. But even that possibility was enough to get people's attention. At that point, it stopped feeling like simple commentary. The idea of trying to influence a conversation involving one of the biggest podcast hosts in the world made the situation seem much bigger than it first appeared. That's when Candace Owens stepped in. After another commentator criticized Joe Rogan online, she fired back saying, "Oh no," another commentator to send a cease and desist to for stating the obvious fact that Erica's behavior, demeanor, and history are bizarre.
This risk analysis, they hear what we're saying, but they don't want to take action.
Well, there are 18 critical infrastructures.
It's weird, but
very weird.
She's doing a CIA informational video.
Weird.
like an acting gig, or is this something else?
Perhaps, Or, but even so, you're doing an acting gig for the CIA. Who calls you for that?
Yeah.
You ever get one of those calls?
No.
No, I never got one of those calls.
And my agent never hit me with that one.
Yeah. It's odd. Well, there's a lot of people that think that she was his handler. She was Charlie Kirk's head.
That line alone added serious momentum to the situation. Joe's influence plays a major role here. His podcast often reflects what's already circulating online, which helps explain how quickly this moment spread. Reactions have been intense and sharply divided. Candace didn't stop there. On her own podcast, reacting to Joe's episode with Mark Norman, she suggested that Erica and her circle may be losing control of the narrative. From her perspective, that shift began the moment Joe spoke up. Once that door opened, things started moving fast.
Adding more to the Israel firsters' frustrations is the fact that everybody can see that something's not right with Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk, and that includes the biggest podcaster in the world, Joe Rogan. They were so angry because he went on his show and just kind of said what.
She also focused on the CIA angle, arguing that earlier attempts to dismiss those videos may have had the opposite effect. According to her, trying to downplay it only pushed more people to look closer, driving even more attention. Candace went further, claiming that intelligence-linked groups were allegedly connected to the school Erica attended. It's not confirmed, but the idea added an entirely new layer to the conversation. Erica attended the Tesseract School in Arizona, previously known as the Looking Glass School. The name alone caught attention, largely because of its similarity to well-known intelligence-related terms. But beyond that, the school was described as an experimental education model developed by psychologists, including someone connected to Erica's family.
But he addressed particularly the CIA documentary because they came out and they were suddenly trying to gaslight us and the CIA didn't produce the documentary. Okay, yes, but the head of the CIA is in it. Okay, you had to get approval from the CIA to be in a CIA documentary. That doesn't just happen casually. Like he says, are you getting that phone call from your agent? And no, she's not acting. She's specifically referring to her mother's business model.
Candace took this a step further, questioning whether the environment at the school may have involved structured influence beyond typical education. There's no verified proof of that. But raising the question shifted how some people began viewing the bigger picture. During Erica's time at Tesseract, another name started coming up: Nancy Gerard. According to public discussion, she wasn't seen as just a typical staff member. Her background appeared closely tied to military circles, which made people take a closer look. Nancy's father, Colonel Paul Tracy Gerard, reportedly served as a senior military law enforcement official for the 7th Army in Stuttgart, Germany. There are also mentions of affiliations with organizations like the Scottish Rite, adding another layer of intrigue to her profile. And it goes further. Her family...
MPs. So she's not acting. She's involved. And so people, of course, online were so angry about it. The Israel Firsters, Mark Levin, tweeted this. Is this some AI production? If not, what a total disgrace. Then this Eitan Fishberger said, this is some sick stuff from Joe Rogan, as if Erica hasn't been through enough already. How about just acknowledging that you do not have the power to transform reality? Just
Her family connections reportedly extend across multiple areas of the military. Her brother is said to have been part of a high-level honor society, while her first husband served as an Air Force lieutenant. At that point, a broader pattern began to stand out. Naturally, more questions followed. Candace Owens raised the idea of whether Nancy's role at Tesseract involved structuring programs with unusual precision or intent beyond standard education. It's not confirmed, but once the question was raised, it lingered. Another detail also caught attention.
Principal should actually climb a ladder at Tesseract while Erica was a student who had very strong military ties. A woman named Nancy Gerard Hall, she will become. Nancy was a military brat. Her father was Colonel Paul Tracy Gerard, who was a member of the Scottish Rite. A lot of that going on, a lot of Freemasonry going on at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, out in Kansas. He was a part of the Blue Lodge.
In August 1990, Dr. Jerry Fran reportedly organized a trip to Eastern Europe. The official explanation was academic, focused on studying social dynamics and gender-related topics during a period of major change. The timing didn't go unnoticed. Eastern Europe in the early 1990s was going through massive political shifts following the fall of the Berlin Wall, which made some people question whether it was more than coincidence. To be clear, there's no verified evidence supporting those deeper claims, but it's the unanswered questions and the timing that continue to draw attention. During periods of global instability, large groups of people often relocate or shift rapidly, It's a documented reality.
Fact we have learned is backed financially by the Bush family, the Walton family, a model that's been designed by psychologists alongside Dr. Franz Feinstein. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Still, the questions become more pointed. Was Dr. Fran only there for academic research, as officially stated? There's no confirmed evidence suggesting otherwise, but the timing continues to stand out, and then there's the Romania connection. Later on, Erica was reportedly involved in work linked to an orphanage there. On its own, that may seem straightforward, but when viewed alongside earlier events, it begins to raise more questions than answers. Speculation has continued to grow. Some have questioned whether Erica's meeting with Charlie at the airport during what was described as a pilgrimage was purely coincidence or something more. What stands out most is the contrast. The version of her past being discussed online doesn't fully align with the image she later presented publicly, and that discrepancy is what people are focusing on. At the end of the day, one thing is clear: when details don't line up, people keep digging, and right now those unanswered questions are exactly what's keeping this story alive.